So volunteering in the emergency room, first thing you see is the emergency room doctors. They're taking care of different people. Someone comes in with a heart attack, and that's, amazing. They're doing CPR and so forth. And then the first time I saw a trauma come in, I thought, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden the ER docs are kind of pushed to the back burner. They're maybe running an EKG, but then this other team comes down. I'm like, whoa, who are these guys? And those were like the surgery residents. Those were the surgeons. And they take over. I'm like, whoa, I want to be those guys. And so then you get to see them run a trauma emergency. There's, ribs sticking out, there's bones broken, and these guys are so calm because that's what they do every day. And, they're running the code. And I'm like, wow, that's what I want to aspire to be. Someone says, oh no, man, those guys have to do a residency for 5 or 6 years. I'm like, so what does that mean? They're like, oh, you even have to go to college for 4 years, you go to medical school for another 4, then you got to train for another 5 years. I'm like doing the math in my head. I'm like, whoa, that's 13 years after college, to go from that emergency and that excitement to being where I am now, where you kind of transform a person's life. They come in, a lot of them can barely breathe, they can barely walk, they're bringing in oxygen, and they're 400 pounds, and they tell you these stories where they fly somewhere. They've got to buy 2 seats, they got to get a seat belt with an extender, and they can't walk up and down steps. Then you do surgery on them, and you see them, come back in the office, and they're not carrying their oxygen. They don't have this breathing tank, and they're not using a cane. Various things. So their stories are different. Now doing obesity surgery, the rewards that come from that are different than those initial rewards that come from that patient that came to the hospital sometimes almost dead, and you did the right things and you brought them back to life, versus now it's a thing where you're making a person's lifestyle better.